Alright. So last time, I weirdly left off in the middle because I was just too tired. And also, it let me put off this. It's time! Hey, Captain. I don't think I have anything to actually look up for her. So we just need to do the thing that we couldn't do before. Hello, Pearl. Little girl. It's okay. Would you like this gift? It's fine, we got it from a family member of yours. It's innocent. Maya's Magatama. Well, Magatama. But I'll probably call it a Magatama or something. There's there's pronunciations and the like that will come out for this series just because I was definitely less versed in Japanese as a language when I was first introduced to it. Not that this series also isn't heavily localized, as Maya's enduring love of hamburgers is a testament to. Slightly translucent, it's small, but it has a deep, profound aura about it. I just had the most cursed thought. Go on. Oh yeah, Maya said to give this to you. Ugh, I'm in trouble now. If Morgan sees us like this, I'll be the next one they're channeling. Okay.
That's that's Mystic Maya's.
Huh? She actually spoke.
Who are you?
I'm Phoenix Wright. I, worked with Maya.
You worked with Mystic Maya? You you're Mr. Nick, right?
Uh, excuse me? I bet I know who she picked Nick up from. Oh, MAGA all capitalized Hama, and that joke dies before it begins. Oof, that is a pretty cursed thought.
I know who you are. You're you're Mystic Maya's special someone.
What? Oh no, she's a shipper.
So then, of course, you're going to help Mystic Maya, aren't you? That's what you're going to do, right?
Well, yeah, I will.
Oh wow, it's like a beautiful fairy tale. That earnest look shining brightly in your eyes. It must be true love.
What? Why am I being pulled into a bright red lobster by this little kid?
I'm so jealous of Mystic Maya. Ah, what a wonderful relationship.
Wait, I mean, we aren't, things aren't like, oh, there's this guy called Edgeworth and it's complicated.
Hee hee. I can tell you're a good person. All right, Mr. Nick. I may be small, but I'm going to help you in any way I can.
And with that, we have now properly unlocked Baby Maya. And I call her Baby Maya. She is 8. As someone in my 30s, everyone below the age of 30 is an infant. But with Pearl, 8 is actually a tender age. She's actually young enough to kind of merit the treatment a little bit. Absolute toddlers. Actually, the scary thing is, I don't remember if Maya's mom is the older of this. I'm having the horrifying thought that actually maybe Morgan Faye's not that old. I don't want to think about that too hard, though. I mean, the scary thing is, Katie started playing Miles Edgeworth Investigations 1, right? Which is in the future relative to this game, and even in that game, Gumshoe's still younger than me, which crushes my soul a little bit. Anyways, now that Pearl will talk, we have to do it.
I'm sure it is helpful to you in some way, but I'm still in training, so I don't know anything about it. I'm really deeply sorry.
No, it's okay. I shouldn't have shown you something so trivial anyway. I'm very sorry. This feels so weird talking to a kid like this. Alright, well, she didn't have anything to say about this, but that's okay. So this is...
That is Mystic Maya's Magatama. It's one of the most important heirlooms of Crime Village. Please make sure to take good care of it.
Yeah, I will. Is it really okay for me to have such a priceless object? I doubt she'll have anything to say about these, but I'll try anyways. Oh.
Are you interested in Crane's traditional things too, Mr. Nick? The Crane sacred writings are on this folding screen.
Oh, is that what's written on it? Actually, what caught my eye was this hole in it.
It's a very old screen, so I think that maybe bugs made it by eating through it.
It sure doesn't look like that way to me. Phoenix, she's 8. I think that's actually a reasonable assumption to make on her part.
I look up to Mystic Maya a lot. She's my role model. She's so smart and pretty and kind and loving. She's always cheerful, never gets sick, isn't picky, and has good sleeping habits. She always wakes up before me and always eats breakfast before me too.
Oh man, I knew this was going to be a mistake, but I didn't want to do the easy way out.
And she has you, such a wonderful person with whom she can.
Okay. I get the idea. She really thinks the world of Maya, doesn't she? I wonder who else she has something to say about. Probably nothing about Dr. Turner Gray.
I'm sorry, I don't know who this person is.
I guess that makes sense. You never left Crane Village after all.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. I just don't really know anyone outside the village. To tell you the truth, I really want to grow my hair out, just like Mystic Maya. But my mother won't let me.
Your hair now suits you quite well, though, I think.
Really? Thank you.
Fidget. I mean, she still has enough hair that she can make those, like, little loops in the back. But, admittedly, I'm very lazy with hair care and all that stuff. So I will admit there are times, like, because you can see people and they'll have hairdos, and I have no sense for, like, how much hair goes into it. Because some people, it's like, it doesn't look like much, and then, like, you see them with their hair down, and it's like, where did all that go? Other times, I can do a lot of that. As a curly-haired person, I give up. No, mine is... Well, mine's pretty straight. I get, like... Nah, it's not really a curl. I just get it when, like, if I let it grow long enough to, like, hit my shoulders, where it does that thing where it's just... Because it's hitting something, it kind of starts going up a little bit. But... Alright. Morgan Fay.
Oh, it's my mother. She takes really good care of me and loves me very much.
I freaking love how cute some of Pearl's stuff is. Like, I will say, obviously, having a little girl character as, like, a more constant companion, awful if you're trying to go through this the way I am, voicing it, which most anyone who's going to stream is going to do, right? But as someone who appreciates Just, whenever a child character shows up and you get someone who gets into that, like, old elder sibling or parental figure kind of role. Like, this is a really cute little reaction image for her. Her thing where she's, like, looking shyly through her fingers.
She says I'm the pride of the Branch family, but I don't know what that means.
Branch family. That concept is probably still too hard for little Pearl. And I don't think she's gonna know the rest. Well, she'll know Gumshoe later. Alright, now let's actually talk to her. Pearl. Pearl, are you friends with Maya?
I feel very grateful to be friends with her. She's so great. I want to be like Mystic Maya when I grow up. I really look up to her.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is the other problem with doing this. That is what the T is for. Wow, I had no idea Maya was so revered.
Usually when people don't use Mystic Maya's title, I get mad.
Oh, sorry.
But if it's you, Mr. Nick, then it's okay. Because you're special to her.
Although I will say, them having to redraw this, her mouth looks kind of weird like that. See, well, as I understand, but also don't show yourself with the gag. Don't worry, I'll be careful about that. I've only lost my voice, I want to say once or twice in my life. I think like 2-3 times. And the first time was because I had a cold. I had throat things going on, and then I had to work as a cashier, which was not a great mix. And I think for a similar reason I lost it again later on, like a year later or something. Where in the world did she get an idea like that?
By the way, this may be rude, but which channeling school are you from?
Which channeling school?
Yes, for example, I study the crane technique.
Ah, I get it. No. I'm a lawyer. A lawyer.
Lawyer?
Yep.
Is that related to spirit mediums in any way?
None that I know of. Wait, are you telling me you don't know what a lawyer is? I mean... Is that... I guess when someone's 8 years old... No, I think that's unreasonable. I think being at 8, you can have, like... It's not like a mandatory profession to come up. Yeah, Phoenix, she's 8.
I'm sorry, but I have no idea.
Maya did say Pearl doesn't know much about the outside world. Also, buddy, you don't have a profession that's first in every little kid's mind. Although I say that, I guess lawyer is one of those, like, well-paid, highly educated professions, so... That's neither here nor there, though. The item in your hand. She knows how the wool works and she's sheltered. Yeah. And in Pearl's defense, she does recognize that about herself to a degree. Like, she's a pretty smart 8-year-old, I'd say. But she's definitely still an 8-year-old. So, what's that you've got there, Pearl?
Oh, this? I found it yesterday. If you want it, I can give it to you.
Why would I not accept it? Give me that. Alright, well, if you really want to give it to me.
Hee hee. You look like a child at a toy store, Mr. Nick.
High whiz, low int, through no fault of her own. Yeah. She not only speaks in a refined manner, but laughs in one too. Black key, an old steel key. A green jewel is set in the center of the key's grip.
Mr. Nick?
Yes, Pearls? Oh, I can call you that, right? You're too cute to just call you Pearl.
Sure, Mr. Nick. Are you sure it's okay for me to have this Magatama?
Yeah, it's okay. I was told to give it to you.
But I can't accept something like this. All I really should do is charge this Magatama with spiritual energy.
Spiritual energy?
Please take this. I'm sure it will be helpful. It is now radioactive.
Like, you know, it's a green gem, right? Like, it's probably meant to be jade. But that is a very radioactive green. No fault of its own, really. What do you mean?
It will let you see people's secrets and the new game mechanic they introduced in this second entry in the video game franchise.
See people's secrets?
Yes. If it's alright with you, I would like to accompany you for a little while. I can explain the Magatama's power to you when we meet someone hiding a secret.
And now we have acquired a small child. June 20th, Fay Manor, side room. Hello again. We seem to be seeing a lot of each other today. Oh, she's like totally cute. Is she like your daughter? What? No. How old do you think I am? Phoenix. You're not actually that young that Pearl is, like, okay, admittedly. Because Phoenix is what, like, 27, 28? Or was he 24? Maybe he was 24. And he'd be 25 in this game. I don't remember if he was, like, mid-20s or if he was creeping up into the higher 20s. Because he's still fairly young for a lawyer, but he's not as unreasonably young as a couple other people we'll see later on. Do I have things to talk to you? Ah, right. Although I don't know if I have... Well, we can encounter this right now anyways, I think. I want to ask you about the victim, Dr. Gray. I, like, totally don't know him. Phoenix picks up small children like Maya picks up murder accusations too often. This is true. Ah, what is that?
You can see it, can't you, Mr. Nick? You can see the lock on that person's heart.
Oh, what?
This is the power of the Magatama. Only you can see these.
So this is going to be another thing. I'm going to call them psych locks. I'm going to guess, since it's psyche, maybe it's meant to be psyche locks. I'm just going to call them psych locks. You can slap a visor on them and put them in the X-Men for what I'm going to call them. Cyclops? No, Cyclops.
Only you can see these Cyclops, Mr. Nick.
Cyclops, huh?
The more someone wants to hide their secret, the more locks you will see. If it's only one, I think you can easily unlock it.
Unlock? How?
Please use Mystic Maya's Magatama on this person, and let's remove the lock.
I have no idea what she's talking about, but guess I'll give it a try.
You must be careful though, Mr. Nick. If you make a mistake, it will hurt you. If you don't think you have the proof you need, you must have the courage to stop.
I have arrived to voice. Hey, Donnie. Oh no, Maya has been shrunk. It was okay, Dareth. I was pretty sure that's what you meant. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Dareth. Well, I've got to start somewhere. Let's give this psych lock thing a try. In the original Japanese, they are psycho locks. That does sound right. Do we have... I wonder if I actually have something for this, or if I need something else. We could do it anyways. Present. We will now use the radioactive gem to try to break her mind to find out the secret. The victim. Eeny meeny, I believe you do know who Dr. Gray is. I told you, like, how many times do I, like, have to repeat myself? If you're, like, so totally sure, then where's, like, your proof? While it may be possible that you never actually met Dr. Gray in person, I do believe you might have at least indirectly known of him. Like, what do you mean, like, indirectly? I should try to show that the possibility existed for now. So, something that shows a possible connection between Eenie and Dr. Gray. I don't remember if this one has a reading more. So wait, we're using an artifact to mind crush people while having spiky hair. Yes. We are in fact Yami Phoenix. Snake Game was negative colored for 1.8 seconds and Eenie was covered in chains. When you put it like that, Donnie, it sounds like it's a very different kind of visual novel. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. I should investigate and gather some more clues before I try again. Then Sonic EXE Blood on TV. I wonder if... Also, my god, I forgot how slow this cursor moved. I might be able to do that now, I might not be. Let's see. Okay, I didn't think that was going to let me do anything with it yet. June 20th, Fay Manor, Meditation Room. Hey, it's you, pal. So you're going to be her lawyer, I bet. Yes. Oh, I really feel bad for you, pal. Just this once, I wish I could be on your side. Detective Gumshoe? Yeah, but I shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff to you. Hey, you're a cute kid. Haha, I'm not scary, honest. Wow, never knew Gumshoe liked kids. Hey, I know. I'll show you something cool. How's this? It's a real genuine pistol. Oh. I'm sorry, I want to let this moment breathe. Where Gumshoe, in his desperation to try to connect to this 8-year-old child, shows her his gun. She's got a gun. Detective Gumshoe, what are you doing showing her something that dangerous? Oh, sorry. Oh, Gumshoe. Oh, man. Nothing still? Okay, good. Maya's guilt. What about Maya and the charges against her? I don't think you can win, pal. If you're talking about proof, we've got a few pieces. You've got proof? Yeah, pal, that puffy-haired photographer is going to testify tomorrow. Must be talking about Lada. Actually, speaking of Lada... Well, I took some hot pictures earlier. Huh? Remember, I took some pictures at the murder scene inside. Lada's hot pictures. Wonder what her camera captured. Besides, you must have realized by now, pal. There's no way anyone other than Maya Fey could have done it. What am I supposed to say to Pearls now? Also, they're clearly trying to adapt. I'm gonna assume it's Pearl John. But I actually like, instead of calling her Pearl, calling her Pearls. Even though it is a dumb nickname. Because in fact, you're saying technically a little bit more than what her name is. But I don't know, I do find it cute. The victim. About Dr. Gray. The victim wasn't super famous, but people still knew who he was. His face was all over those tabloid shows last year. Yeah, I know. I was looking through some newspapers from last year and... Huh? I could have sworn I cut an article out, but I guess I must have lost it. He's searching through his pockets. Boy, are those big. It looked really interesting, too. Hey, do you have a copy, pal? Copy of that article? I think Dr. Gray might have brought a copy to the office when he came by. Tomorrow's trial. About Maya's trial tomorrow. Well, I've got 2 pieces of news for you, pal. 2? Yeah, bad news and even worse news. So, which do you want to hear first? I don't really care. Doesn't change the fact that I'm not going to like it. Alright, pal. Well, the prosecutor for the trial is Prosecutor Von Kerma. What? Von Kerma? Manfred Von Kerma. He was an awe-inspiring veteran prosecutor. He never lost a case in the 40 years of his career, and he raised a fearsome disciple. He mostly just yelled and cheated to get his way, but it still made him very tough. The horrible aftertaste of the evil he force-fed me is something I'll never forget. And also probably the subject of not less than 10 really ill-advised fanfictions. Wait a sec, but didn't Von Kerma stand trial and... Ah, that's where the other piece of bad news comes in. Von Kerma? Oh, okay. Hey, Katie. The Von Kerma you're facing tomorrow is actually his successor. Successor? Somehow Von Kerma has returned. You face. So, who is the successor to Von Kerma? Literally, pal, it's Prosecutor Von Kerma's kid. His kid became a prosecutor real young, like 13, and hasn't lost a trial since. God. Oh, Franziska's gonna make me feel so old. Admittedly, she's also meant to be a Wunderkind, so... That's what they call a prodigy, pal. Kid, huh? Wait a sec. 13? The kid became a prosecutor at the age of 13? I mean, a prodigy like that, I would have heard something about. Oh, no. The kid was born and raised in Germany, pal. And this is why Franziska is easy to voice. In terms of picking it out, it's just, can you execute? And I will not be able to execute. I don't think you can actually be one. I don't think you can actually be a lawyer at 13. Phoenix, right? You casually became a lawyer as a minor in university. Babies, they're babies. I can't do a good shredder. Unless you literally graduate high school by like 5. That country's got a lot of stuff and is a great place to develop a person's talents. And don't even get me started on the quality of their medicine. No. Germany, huh? That's probably why I've never heard of this person. Ugh, still, all it takes is someone mentioning the name Von Kerma. I get terrible flashbacks to that case. Oh, also Shredder. It's Miles. Stop it. Get a grip on yourself, Phoenix. None of that matters anymore. Now that he's gone. even if they don't actually have any intention of doing anything with Phoenix and Miles, I definitely feel like by the second game they're already like, I mean, if everyone wants to do that anyways, we can at least give them stuff to work with. Can't remember our exit hurts too much. Dr. Gray brought this over to my office the other day, and hey, it's that news story, the one about the malpractice suit. 14 patients died and it caused a huge stink. Anime prodigies aren't born, they just appear. Yeah, but that's not all, pal. Things only got worse after that. You mean the car accident the nurse died in? Oh, here we go. I brought my own clipping with me today. Here, pal, this is for you. Alright, thanks. Okay. This is what I needed before we could mind crush Eeny Meeny. Newspaper clipping 2 added to the court record. Mimi Miney, nurse at Gray Surgical Clinic, died after falling asleep at the wheel. I guess it's really meant to be my me, but I couldn't remember. Baby Yoda, maybe. Or was the opposite of an anime prodigy? Baby Yoda. Opposite of an anime prodigy, Baby Yoda. I feel like you could make the argument that Star Wars is still more on the anime than not. Because he's like 100 years old. That's fair. Like, I don't know why, like, I'm trying to think the opposite of an anime prodigy. And I'm immediately thinking, like, Gran Torino style Clint Eastwood was where my brain went. But yes, now we have something to connect Eeny Meeny because of her sister, Mimi Meeny, died after falling asleep at the wheel. I mean, Star Wars is heavily inspired by samurai films. This is also true. Thank you, Gumshoe. Do you have anything new to say? No? I guess I can present this to you, too. Oh, I'd better shut my mouth. What? Well, I'm not gonna give you any information about evidence, pal. Oh. So about this key. Hey, is that your house key or something, pal? Come on, does this look like a house key to you? Well, then what's it for? It's... Actually, I should probably keep that a secret. It's my bicycle key. Whoa, nothing special, huh? George Lucas took Flash Gordon, Kurosawa films, and made them do the fusion dance. As you do. I need to find a nice copy of the original unedited trilogy. My VHS copies are showing their age. Yeah. The problem with VHSs. Well, other things going on there too, but... Okay, Gumshoe's not gonna tell us anything there. Ah, the nurse that killed the patients ended up getting killed in an accident. Dr. Gray wound up on a lot of tabloid shows because of that. Now, there was a smart man. I'm sure that was a great way to advertise for his clinic. Uh-huh. Scaring people off is always the best way to get more patients. You can't find non-special edition original trilogy, Sally. It's not anything non-VHS. Turn to Jail was our favorite, and the new version is just unwatchable. You might be able to find still pretty good condition VHSs if you looked in the right place, but that would be a crapshoot, I think. Hey Gumshoe, what do you think of my radioactive gemstone? What do you think about this? Hey, that's a pretty nice looking brooch. You should stop wearing that ugly old attorney's badge and start wearing that, pal. How fucking dare you, Gumshoe?
Hee hee, that detective is so nice. Aren't you happy, Mr. Nick?
Happy? About what? I can't believe Gumshoe insulted our attorney's badge. It's our all-important badge. It shows that we are a defense attorney. Hey, look. It's my attorney's badge. It's beautiful and perfect.
Aha, good one, pal. You're always good for a laugh with your little badge. But a real man has a police badge.
Mr. Nick?
What is it, Pearls?
I was wondering if I could see it too.
No, it's okay. It's not that important anyway. That attorney's badge looks like it's hyperdense. Wow. It's kind of funny that it autocorrected Gumshoe to gunshot. You barely get paid anything. In fairness, though, he did try to give Pearl a gun earlier, so gunshot's not that inaccurate this time. You have nothing to say about this, right? Oh, right. What did you want to say about these people, Gumshoe?
Oh, I'm sorry things had to turn out this way, pal.
It's too early to give up. No one's proven her guilty of anything yet. It's a good gold-plated Keebler cookie.
Look, even if there were a zillion of you, pal, this is a case you... Ah,
Now why is he sighing?
I don't have anything to tell you about this one, pal.
You don't have to be so mean about it.
Not a word. Hey, don't look at me like that.
That girl is one intense stare. On my phone, I need to switch to audio only. I'm downloading something on Steam. Oh, that's fine, Darth. I kind of had a feeling it might be something like that, but it happens. Take Gumshoe's arch nemesis, Gunshot Johnson. That wouldn't be a bad NPC name. Like, definitely not for a character you have, like, actual plans for, but just like a comedic thing in the background.
Oh, so that's little Pearl.
Do you know her?
Only that Miss Faye was looking for her earlier. Something about being worried that she'll end up talking to the weird guy. So, you have any idea who this weird guy is, pal?
Nope, not a clue.
Well, that's Maya's aunt, right? I got to eat one of her giant strawberry desserts earlier. It was really good.
I don't know why, for some reason... Why did that feel almost euphemistic to me here? I don't know, just a juvenile brain moment, I guess. Oh, I didn't get to eat one yet. Tell us about Lotta Hurt. Dick Gumshoe, what do you think about Dick Gumshoe?
Oh boy, do I look scary in this picture.
The text wasn't fast enough to belay the innuendo. Yeah, that might be part of it too. It's always funny to me when it's something like this where, like, the picture we have is of their, like, neutral state. So he's like, I look scary in this picture, and we're looking at him looking this exact same way.
I guess if I want people to stop thinking cops are scary, I have to change myself. Gotta smile. Gotta smile.
There's that classic Gumshoe goofy smile again. Okay. Now that we've done that... Oh, eeny meeny. You have some brain exploding to do. I read that earlier, so I just skipped through it to get to here. So something that shows a possible connection between Eenie and Dr. Gray. Ah, we're back to Hellraiser. Take a look at this newspaper clipping.
Like, what is it? A story about an accident?
Please read the victim's name.
Mimi Miney?
Miney is a pretty rare last name, wouldn't you say? Miss Mimi Miney wouldn't happen to be a relative of yours, would she?
So you noticed. She was my older sister.
I'm sorry about your loss. Your sister. Was she a nurse? Perhaps at Dr. Gray's surgical clinic? Gray's surgical clinic. I don't think I need to tell you that the clinic was run by the victim, Dr. Turner Gray. Ah, good job. Likely harasser restricted? Well, we can do more than that. Boop. We have such sights to show you. Take that! Shows newspaper. That's an interesting new feature that Twitch has where it, like, I don't know if you even saw it on your end, but it, like, showed up an incoming comment. To me, it was like, it was restricted because it was a likely harasser. It wasn't a harasser, but it was a bot, so. Which is how you knew of Dr. Gray. You knew him through your sister. Unlock successful. That is true. You were on the receiving end once. That was really funny because it made sense why it did it, but it was an innocent moment. The victim. Please, tell me all you know about Dr. Gray.
My sister's name was Mimi Miney. She was like a nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic.
That's what I thought.
I heard that, like, Dr. Gray was really tough on people, like a total slave driver. My sis was, like, always coming home totally wiped out because she was overworked.
Wiped out? So is that why she fell asleep at the wheel?
That guy, like, drove my sis so hard, so, like, that's why the accident happened.
The one where 14 patients died from malpractice?
Yeah, like, I think that was the doctor's fault too. My sis was pushed by, like, everyone's expectations and, like, her duties and stuff, and that pushed her to her death.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, like, are we done? I've, like, already told my story to, like, everyone.
Do you understand now, Mr. Nick? This is how a psych lock works.
Well, I don't plan to pry into people's hearts unless I absolutely need to.
The lock this time was pretty easy, but you might meet people who aren't as willing to give in later on. If you don't have enough proof, be careful and know when to stop trying.
Alright. So yeah, in the first game, the investigation phase was always the safe one. Like, you get stuck on it, but you couldn't, like, die during it. They've now introduced that you could, like, die, but you can also back out, so the investigation phase is still fairly safe. Use that magical lock to make up for your insight, Phoenix Wright. It is funny to think about that, right? Oh, do I have anything in here? Probably not, right? If you die in the game, you die for real. Right, I need to slide. No, I think I've seen all this already. Let's move then. June 20th, Crane Village.
Mr. Nick,
What's wrong?
I have never left Crane Village.
Really? Wow, that's, pretty amazing.
You are going to meet with Mystic Maya, aren't you? Please tell her I said hi.
Hey, wait. She ran off. Again. Well, I know Eni's secret now, but I still don't have any idea how I'm going to save Maya. I don't even know if I should go in there with a smile or a straight face. Any games y'all playing for Halloween? I, because I should be, depending on things, but I don't know if I'll have to worry about altering things. I'd probably still be on, I mean, I'll definitely be on this game in general. I might be done with this second case by then. But I don't know, I wasn't thinking on anything particularly. Technically, these games have the small advantage that because you're dealing with murder trials, it is the tiniest bit appropriate. But, oh, anyway, let's go talk to Maya, I guess. June 20th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Well, maybe I want to take a break by then, too. What am I supposed to do? I'm almost out of time. Can I really do anything? Can I really save her? It's probably Maya, right? Sorry to keep you waiting. Huh? Must be Maya. Oh, no, okay. I have a better idea. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's been a long time, hasn't it, Phoenix? That voice. Okay, well, I mean, we're good kids here on the stream, but we might as well since she's shown up. How's it going, Mia? What, some of you get a tax evasion case for Halloween, even though that wasn't the original game? Mia! Even without me being here, it looks like you've learned to stand on your own. Oh, Lord. Yes, that is how most people react to the girls. Nia, she's Maya's older sister and my mentor. Appreciate this moment, because this is the more innocent one. Because while the game has not made this... Go to Humana jail. While the game has not made this explicit, we have been told that Pearl, even at the age of 8, is something of a prodigy at channeling spirits. She was a top-notch defense lawyer, but a certain case forced her into retirement. But whenever I'm in trouble, she comes to help, just like this. Her spirit comes back from the other world and borrows Maya's body for a bit. Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets, and especially when it's bad. Mia, you can't smile at the end if you haven't been smiling the whole way there. In any case, the face you're making now is no face to show a client, Phoenix. But... So, tell me all about it. I'm going to guess that my sister is in a lot of trouble again. You should smile more. Think of one, maybe two things that would make you happy, and smile more, Phoenix. Sorry, I had to. I told her everything about what had happened in the last 2 days. Also, I think the bit's gone on long enough. We can go back to being good children here. I stand by my statement from last week. The Fae women are in doubt. Maya just needs to stop being a teenager. Mia closed her eyes, deep in thought, while she listened. I see. Mia, what am I supposed to do? It's pretty clear what a good lawyer does in this situation. That is, tell me, please. Believe in your convictions and fight for the complete acquittal of your client. Oh, which is her with your jaws on the table. I didn't even see the second part of that line, Donnie. It's a good one, though. You should smile more. Which is her with your jaws on the table. But yeah, I'm trying to avoid convictions. Even in the later games where she's in her late 20s, she hasn't really grown. If the robes don't fit, you must quit. I mean, the robe fits, it just shows off her assets better. Actually, while we have this chance with Mia, how often have we shown her our attorney's badge? Mia.
Wow, this badge brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it? I would love to stand with you at the defense's bench one more time.
Mia. I don't think she'll have anything to say about this, but can you take a look at this?
Is that really all you have, Phoenix? There's no time left. Try to show me something that will help you in tomorrow's trial.
Nobs could be hiding by his assets in the later games. Oh, show her the Magatama.
This is Maya's Magatama, isn't it? Why do you have it?
Maya gave it to me, but...
I see. This is something very important to me. Take good care of it, okay?
She's looking at it with a soft look in her eyes. Oh, right. Mia, have you seen this key before? I think I actually might have had to show her this thing.
Ah, the key. It's literally the key to understanding everything that's happened in this case.
Ash's key from Sunday. Oh, does he have like a black steel key or something? This is a pretty impressive looking key.
This key? Phoenix, listen. Right now, that key is sitting in your hand. However, it shouldn't be. It contradicts the facts.
What does she mean? Also, yeah, this is something that Phoenix should be able to put together, but he needs someone to tell him. Interestingly enough, since Kitty's finally started it, this is one of the advantages of when they go to the investigation style game, where they gave Edgeworth logic. Now, oftentimes, you still work that out with another character because these are dialogue-based games, and you don't want to have one character talking to themselves too much. But one of the advantages is it's not even that Edgeworth himself is really smart, because, you know, they still let you pick dumb options then, so you can have Edgeworth have dumb moments. Which, I mean, I'm saying that, like, Edgeworth is smart, obviously. But the point is, because they made him the protagonist, they gave him a mechanic that lets him actually put things together himself, instead of having to have as many moments like this, where Phoenix has to be kind of dumb and told stuff. What does she mean?
I'm certain this key will be the piece of evidence that makes your case tomorrow.
He had a key like that and finally tried to find what it belonged to in a dungeon with many locked doors. Ah. Yeah, there's something to be said for when you have a key but you don't know what it goes to. Edgeworth logic sounds like some kind of Boolean code system. Phoenix is a Shonen pro tag. He very much is. Edgeworth is the cool, smarter rival character. And then we can ask her about these. Oh, look. Ah, yes. Edgeworth is the seinen protagonist. That's not inaccurate either. That's a way of looking at it. Died in a car accident 1 year ago. Was Edie's older sister, nurse at Dr. Gray's clinic. Her age is deceased. Like Mia's Faye is deceased. Which is not inaccurate, but I feel like you should put like when they died instead, or the age they died at. It's just weird to see like deceased instead of an age. Maya's older sister. She was a top-notch lawyer and my mentor and friend forever. Yeah, Mia actually knew laws and stuff and didn't flail around like Phoenix. Well, she did a little flailing. We'll get there. That's the third game.
I can't see Maya when I'm in her body like this, but I can tell she's very lonely and sad. Take good care of her, will you, Phoenix? Just because she goes off to her village doesn't mean you need to ignore her for like a year, bro.
I will. Ghost Age 3. Although, in fairness, nothing Phoenix does will compare to what all of his friends do between games 3 and 4. Oh, I try not to have too many issues with it nowadays. But in both games 5 and 6, they try to really turn back the fact that they kind of like unequivocally make it awkward between Phoenix and every character he's close to. She's locked in prison via potentially facing a death sentence. I'm sorry, but I don't remember who that is. Pearly, she's really grown up. I left Crane Village a long time ago. She probably doesn't remember a thing about me by now. You think she'd be happy? Ghostbusters theme at max volume. Yes, she would be happy. I'm afraid I might have caused Aunt Morgan a lot of stress. When I left Crane, I left Maya in my aunt's care. And now something like this happens. I've seen this man somewhere before. He had a strange name. I'm almost sure I've questioned him before. I remember him making a show of confidence at first, but after 5 minutes he breaks down and you end up feeling bad for the poor guy. Damn, Gumshoe. I didn't expect him to take a stray in this, but I guess this is why I'm doing this. She could be with her sister. Ah. And Maya about herself. That's right. I'm already dead. But I feel very grateful to have been born a Fae, so I can talk with you like this. Alright, well now that we've done all that, not guilty. You think Maya's not guilty? How can you be so sure? I know she is, and I'll give you a hint as to why. Yes? Mediums can't have dreams. They can't? From what you told me, it sounds like Maya was having a dream while channeling. Yeah, she said she dreamt that she had died and had been buried in the ground. But that is impossible. You've heard it from her, I'm sure. When a medium channels, her own spirit disappears, which means that it's impossible for her to dream during that time. Then, what does this mean? I think it's safe to bet that Maya was set up. Set up? It's up to you to blow the lid on this case tomorrow and show how she was set up. Evidence? How am I supposed to prove her innocence when I have nothing to go on? But Maya would miss the new seasons of the Samurai Tokusatsu series. If you're looking for a clue, it's already in your hands. It is? Just as it sounds, Phoenix. You already hold the key. Really? Come on, show me the key to this case. The key, huh? Alright, I'll show it to her. The key I hold. So I skipped ahead because I just... You're not meant to do what I've been doing, which is just taking every piece of material I have and shoving it in their face right away. You're meant to, like, try to guess and save yourself time. But also, sometimes the game will give you, like, secret little things if you find other things. So, like, you're kind of encouraged to just go through it anyways. You already know everything you need to know. You know what the key to this case is. That is enough. But, how can I win tomorrow without knowing who the real murderer is? Who could have... Phoenix, my dude, how many trials have you won? figuring out the murderer halfway through? I didn't know it at the time. But this day was going to end with a turn for the surprising. But Mia? What? What's wrong? That's right. Only I can see the psych locks. Sus. Amogus. Those are fever dreams, apparently. Which means Mia must know something about the real murderer. For this to be something that she would hide under lock and key from even me. What in the world is going on? There was that one jailer standing suspiciously at the back corner of the room. Alright. To be continued. Save. Okay, I see what happened here. I'm like, wait a second, what's going on here? But no, I see that's from, okay. We'll save over this. Part 2-1 trial? Oh god. Are these already 2 parts? Okay. Alright. Well, it's a little bit early. But since I've reached this point anyways, let's take a small break. Although, let me do something. I always do this to you guys. June 21st, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
What?
I'm going to leave you on this so you actually have some music to listen to. Assuming that I come back to everyone being conscious and awake, someone whose name might rhyme with Leo Click does need to keep pushing herself. But I'll be right back in a few minutes. Alright, back. Again, I'm listening to the Ghostbusters theme. I mean, that has its moments for Phoenix Wright for sure. Derek collapses to the floor snoring. Oh, and then Dottie was asking how's everyone. Darth is good. And Katie is sleepy, but do that soon, but Von Karma first. That's fair. I mean, nothing I have to deal with won't be something you need to deal with come Wednesday anyways. I'm actually doing good today. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned that. But yeah, I'm doing pretty okay. Plus, it's always nice to do a little tiny break when you're doing a bunch of these things. I'm buying scrubs this week. I'm tired but alive. Well, glad you're alive despite being tired, and hey. I'm good that the phlebotomy stuff is working out for you. I'll just reread this. I'm gonna find an externship. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't take too long too. I know you already completed the online part, but I don't know how much it will take to actually get fully into that.
What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean...
No, I heard it's his successor this time.
Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, also he could win.
He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be.
It's no good.
I'm gonna assume this is Pearl.
Mystic Maya!
Pearly! You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way.
I was really worried about you.
Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together?
Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks.
Huh? Then you came all by yourself?
Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map.
Don't tell me you walked all the way here.
Of course not. I ran.
Oh, to be a child and have endless energy. I can't. Oh my. It takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearl's 3/4 angle face is much more on Mile than Maya's.
Pearly, what about the train?
Huh? What's a train?
I give up.
It's time, isn't it?
I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma.
Uh-oh. We need to break Pearl's illusions of her shippy ways now.
Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that?
He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. Of the boy variety.
Game, I hate when you do this. I have an objection counter for actual objections. But you did do an objection on screen. Voyager? What's that? She's young, her ship taste hasn't been refined yet. I would not call Phoenix and Edgeworth a refined ship taste. Well, I'll count it. Objections 28.
I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday.
It's not even subtext.
Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end.
You son of a bitch, game. Alright, so let's see. It was 29, then it did 30, and then it did 31. It is refined wine, yo.
It was always back and forth with them, but when you're rivals for life...
Maya, please don't mention that name ever again.
Huh? But why, Nick?
I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back.
What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean?
Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. To be fair, box wine is technically indistinguishable from vintage.
Nick?
Sommeliers are basically charlatans. June 21st, 10 o'clock a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared?
Oh, thank God. I have at least a couple seconds more of safety, as she is currently just question marks. What is with this kid?
Ma'am, Mr. Wright, are you prepared?
Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct? Hold on. So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. I see.
I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge.
Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred von Kerma?
It's something of a personal nature. I'm sure you can. How?
I'm talking.
So, meet Franziska von Kerma. She is, do we have her age yet? She is 18. So she is Maya's age. She's been a prosecutor for 5 years. Became a prosecutor in Germany at age 13. Prodigy who's never known defeat. She looks like a Fire Emblem third string character. She fights like one too, because she has a whip. And speaking of... come on. Gotta make you a little bit bigger, right? We might as well should, right? Because trust me, it's gonna come up a fair bit too. That has a different text color? Or... Oh well. She gets a whip, does she get a gun? Yo, go shoot. Oh, do I want to count that when she whips the thing? I think in my brain I was thinking, oh, why do I do these things? I think it can count. Now, unfortunately, I might have to move it a little bit. Now look at it. Like, come here. It cracked. That looks a little bit clearer. It will sandwich the court record.
If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me.
Please speak with your mouth like a normal person. I beg of you. I may not be a lawyer, but I believe Germany and America have different laws. Legal requirements to learn some laws.
Yeah, make no mistake. I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Whips 3. Actually, with the way Francisco whips things, we may eclipse the objection counter very quickly.
Prosecutor von Karma, your opening statement, please.
Those of von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch.
Very well. What is the defense's position?
Your Honor?
Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
Yes.
A foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running off the justified self-defense plea in no time.
Justified self-defense. It's an alternate imagining of Germany from a Japanese perspective, like Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. We do for another female prosecutor next new game. She's the only rep so far. Ah, and maybe that would mean they would... Although it would be kind of a shame, because, I'll be honest, I think Athena very easily gets the best prosecutor of the sequel trilogy anyways. But I do agree with Katie there. We are due for another female prosecutor. And maybe this one can be a little bit more serious and maybe not quite as fetishy. Not that I'd necessarily mind it entirely. It's just really sad when your one female prosecutor is a teenage or barely out of her teen in the later games whip cracking. Like, oh. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. You could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Another finger on the monkey's paw curls. Old Bag goes to law school. I don't even know if Old Bag survived the time skip. I mean, I don't think she would die of old age. I'm pretty sure Old Bag will outlive every other character in this series, but it's like overall, but yeah, she has some weird quirks. Oh no. Defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. I think I already read that, but because the plea justifies self-defense is to say you did kill someone.
How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness.
She is just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose.
Witness, your name and occupation?
Oh, yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah.
Get to the point already.
Okay, I definitely shouldn't start counting these. This is going to slow things down remarkably. Oh, that's okay. I'm not trying to speed through this anyways.
Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. Everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room.
What were they doing in there?
They were channeling a spirit, sir.
But channeling a spirit?
That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor.
Ahem. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room.
Bah, but that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over.
Judge, you should know better. When has any case with Phoenix Wright? Judge, magic is real? I mean, magic maybe not, but spirit channeling. But not spirit channeling, it's basically magic. Floor plans added to the court record. How is it that the judge is just as much a pumpkin as Pearl?
So, how was the victim killed?
So here's this diagram of this. We'll have this, I'm sure.
I was about to get to that.
Stop wasting my time, then.
Sleep and good luck with the whip count. Alright, good night, Katie. The judge is old, he forgets things. Cause of death.
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. Oh, but before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
Oh my god. Maya was vicious.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot.
Well, this is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
Autopsy report added to the court record. Is dumbfounded by magic, allows a bird to take the witness stand. Hey, that parrot scientifically could mimic human speech. After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point blank. This is a very official and detailed autopsy report. If you're going to shoot someone in the head, why do you stab them?
The court accepted into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness.
I think this might be one of those ones where we just have to press him for everything to get more information. Style points. That was a double S kill.
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir.
The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it?
Oh, it was the victim's.
The victim? Now, why would he have...
Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? There were fingerprints?
Along with the victims, the defendant, Maya Faye's, were also in the grip, sir.
Oh... That is suboptimal for our case.
So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon.
Walked right into her hands there. The shot was fired from point-blank range.
Point blank, huh? So about how far away is that?
Oh, it's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away.
And how do you know he was shot at point blank?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country.
Excuse me?
A gunpowder burn.
Gunpowder burn?
When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh, gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead.
Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Except now we know fingerprints aren't totally unique to each person. I mean, they're still pretty good for that, but yeah. Classically, point blank means before there's any deviation due to bullet drop, essentially parallel to the ground. Which still is pretty close, but... I mean, the fact it would be to point blank also would vary depending on the gun and its muzzle velocity, right? Of course, originally it wasn't an artillery term. Was it? Oh, look at this. I like you guys having a little info in the chat there. Yeah. Well, I mean, gun nut or Texan. But no, that's not fair. Tautology.
But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest.
Stabbed? And what was he stabbed with?
A fruit knife.
I see, but whose knife was it?
It looks like it belongs to the Faye, sir. And of course, Maya Faye's fingerprints are all over it.
All over it, huh?
Ugh, this does not look good.
Ha ha ha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death.
How severe was the wound?
Oh, if it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand.
This testimony makes it sound like Pai had stabbed him with the intent to kill. And Death is right. Fingerprinting is not as exact as pop culture makes it out to be. See, that I don't think I'd ever heard, but that does make sense to me. I could also see, though, how, like, obviously DNA, for many reasons, is going to be almost definitely superior. But you also need something to only be so close to probably be good enough.
Now, the murderer used a pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot?
Oh, yup, sure can be. One look at the wounds and you'd come to the same conclusion too, pal.
A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Gah, what a pain. So useful to narrow things down. Yeah, exactly. Probably any evidence in a case is completely ideal.
That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered.
I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Very well. The court accepts them to evidence.
Pistol added to the court record. The most ideal you can get is full video and audio recording of a crime. Yep. Yeah. Which is why. Oh, man. These are always the most cursed thing you can have to deal with, though. Yep, kick streamers. Murder weapon was Gray's. 2 shots fired. Bears Maya's and Gray's fingerprints. Knife. Murder weapon. A small fruit knife. Belongs to the Fays. Bears Maya's fingerprints.
The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This must seem like an open and shut case.
And naturally,
This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme.
Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there?
Gee, a knife owned by the Fay family has Maya's fingerprints. Yeah, I know, right?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright.
Yes?
Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty?
Odd sarcasm. Oh, man.
It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised Mr. Phoenix Wright, you will change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change your justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance.
This is a huge decision. Better think this through all the way. Do what the prosecutor, who has almost always been just the bad guy, and the judge, who's infamously always wrong, want me to do. Or listen to my hot mentor figure from the ending of the investigation phase, when she told me not to do the thing. It was more than 10 minutes. Those whip cracks ain't there now for his time. Maya is being set up. Not guilty. We plead justified self-defense. We would basically be confessing the murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined, and she'd be labeled a murderer. Which, it's kind of messed up that that's the case, because if it's justified self-defense, that should be fine. But also, with the way the court of public opinion is in Japan, yeah. Although admittedly, also, you're usually probably boned just from getting accused in the first place. don't think a judge could tell you to change your plea. This is, I mean, not just Japan. Yeah, this is true. It's pretty bad over here too. I can't let that happen. It was self-defense, Gordon. Totally justified, Doctor. Your Honor.
Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright?
The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of complete acquittal.
You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective,
Yes, sir.
present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike.
Yes, sir.
Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Weak. Oh, yes, of course. Well, go ahead, Detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence.
Okay, well, that's 2 more whips. 5 and then 6. Also, she is very clearly Manfred's daughter. She also bullies the judge into getting her way. Incriminating evidence.
Oh, sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. Well, the defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Francisca, this is the guy that took down a prosecutor with 40 years of seniority. The judges both from all the swirlies Devon Curves gave him. They really went across that kind of dumb luck.
Oh, man.
We must remember that Francisca chose this. She could have stayed in Germany, but she came gunning for Phoenix.
So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a black smear of blood on this.
This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence.
Maya's costume added to the court record. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. There are blood spatters on it.
All right, Mr. Wright.
Oh, Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes? Could this situation get any worse?
Ha, what's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Cross-examination, incriminating evidence. Can I look at her robe? It's really frustrating too, because notice they gave us this robe, but they also gave us a different image of the robe, and we know that it has more things to tell us, but...
Oh, sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence.
Why didn't you say so with your testimony earlier?
You're kind of scary today, you know, pal?
Come now, Mr. Wright. There is no need for that kind of attitude in my court. All right, just please stop glaring at me like that.
Oh wow, even more intimidating the judge a little bit.
This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime.
Maya's costume?
Oh yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her.
Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today, too. She's not allowed to wear anything else? Oh, man.
As you can see, it's covered in blood.
There's blood on the costume.
Oh, lab results show that it is the victim's blood.
So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes.
Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Sorry.
Well,
If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on.
well, yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct.
Now even the judge is on our side. But if I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I do? That wasn't a whip, that was a objection. I believe we do want to press further here, though. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. Because he's the only guy capable of winning Calvin Ball. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder.
Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it.
Ah, looks like my time is up. So about the costume. There's nothing wrong. There is one little thing. I might... Oh, I didn't press the other two things. There's nothing wrong. If I pursue this and I turn up nothing, it could be disastrous. You're right, Your Honor. There is absolutely nothing more to this.
Good. Well, detective, please continue with your testimony.
Okay, so there wasn't much going on there.
Now, the defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
You know what? I think I was fine doing that, because probably what I need to do is I need to present a modified robe on that line. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't?
Well, we could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically.
Ugh, I'm in real trouble now. Well, I had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That Von Karma. If you think she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone, well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, and I'll have her. So this is the game kind of spinning its wheels a little bit, because we've already committed to not guilty, right? But we're being funneled towards trying to go for justified self-defense, because that's the trick to this early part. But it'll be fine. So since we already did this, I'll just skip to it real quick. I won't count... I made like one mistake in the first game, and I had to do an objection a second time. Oh, I hate when I do this to myself. I guess since I'm counting these objections as they happen, but I'm trying to grab as much dialogue as possible, so I'm already technically going for extra objections anyways, I should count even additional ones that come across because I mess up. Because I'm not like, this is the objection counter for my playthrough, not for just the game itself. Because theoretically, you could have near on infinite objections. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is the problem you are talking about?
From this fur. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is... well, here. Let's put our fingers right in the hole. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeve? There is a tiny hole here.
A hole? Oh, well, that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder.
Oh, gunpowder? No one ever told me.
A hole that smells of gunpowder.
Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole.
Murder, murder, murder. This is a very grave matter. It must we correct the court record first before everything else.
Maya's costume updated in the court record. Clothes Maya was wearing at the time of the murder. Press the check button for details. Oh, sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding?
Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more.
How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
I agree it was a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Carver has said is true. The evidence still stands. You do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence than...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, sir. $35. I was just let to see it then. Okay. The defendant attacked a killing person who, without doubt, was not fighting back. But Gumshoe, what about the bullet hole? Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Oh, yes? How you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling.
You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means, to not fight back?
You're right. Well, seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
All right. The wind seems to be shifting.
Huh?
What is with the "are you finished yet" laugh?
Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Miss Von Karma?
It seems that Maya Fay was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea.
Oh, that is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Well, now that you... Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
I will say, these early whips, I mean, she's whipped people once or twice, but she's also just whipping for emphasis. Which, I mean, she's still using a weapon in a court of law, but, you know. No.
Well, that's Yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Oh, how so?
Ah, don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day.
Actually, self-defense would be a reason someone would be declared not guilty. Give Phoenix his own gimmick weapon, maybe a boomerang. Phoenix would use a boomerang too, because he would just hit himself harder. But in fact, the third prosecutor actually throws something.
With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
Huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah. Oh, yes, sir. Right away, sir.
I like one of those actually deadly ones that's basically a throwing club. Huh. Okay. We definitely did not add as many objections as I'm adding whips, but I'm sure it's fine. What transpired?
During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Well, of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up one in the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Oh, yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright?
On the surface, it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily.
Now, please refrain from glaring at me like that. Well then, your cross-examination, please.
What transpired?
Now, during the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest.
There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant. Add in body strength, and it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim.
Oh, now that you mention it, yeah, I guess.
You think you can get away with such flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix, right? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Cohen channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant could have easily been a match for the doctor.
I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Crane channeling technique.
Like I said before, I am perfect.
About what you were talking about, I didn't quite get it. Well, never mind. Let's continue with the testimony.
Okay. Oh. No, that was... Yes. Was that 2 whips or was that an objection and a whip? Oh, man. I think it was 2 whips. It was 1 objection. God dang it. Thank you, Donnie. I should have counted that as it went. Oh, this is the problem with doing 2 counters. Well, let me move the whip thing over.
Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir.
So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him.
But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad.
How badly hurt would you say he was?
Actually, I went to give blood the other day. And afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness?
Ah. Oh, sorry.
I mean, that was Francisca being mean, but I feel like Gumshoe did his best to answer that then. Like, sure, it was sloppy, but you know, it was a dumb question too.
While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun.
Where in the world did that pistol come from?
Oh, it looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically bought it for that day.
But a handgun?
Oh, he got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder.
Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something?
Oh, the victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed.
So you're saying the bullet hole in this costume was made then?
Oh, sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired.
Maya, really glad you weren't hurt. My weirdest blood fact is that a newborn's blood volume is about as much as a soda can. Oh. I think I remember you mentioning that earlier. That's still pretty weird, though.
Oh, the defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it.
Maya has never fired a gun before in her life.
Oh, the victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you can fire it just by pulling the trigger.
Even me? I wonder. Phoenix, please don't.
Now do you understand? Yvonne Karma's logic is perfect.
His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. But there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Ah, okay. Because they were too close, he missed. Okay, I think the trick here, rolls generally don't have a safety. Yeah, you know what? I'm not super up on guns, but that is most like double actions nowadays, so enough pulling a trigger and off it goes. Oh. I mean, that does... I can see the logic behind that. Okay. So we don't really have much to go with. But thinking about it, I think it is this one. Because we were just told about the whole thing about the gunpowder burns. And this is just a hole without gunpowder, so... You can still cock the hammer if you want. Well, that's good. The aesthetics of using a gun. I mean, they don't really matter for doing that, but I think for most people, like, you just get so fiction-pilled with having seen it in movies and media and everything. I don't know, that's how, like, in video games and stuff like that. I kind of want stuff like that. Oh... 38. Okay. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
Well, what do you mean?
I do cock the hammer because I tend to rotate my wrist on longer trigger pulls. Oh. This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume?
Oh, gunpowder burn?
This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh.
But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean?
It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other.
I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that?
Oh, wrong one. That was an objection.
With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away.
Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking.
Let's see. In the middle of the fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that you fired. How was that?
As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. It's kind of interesting that, like, when she puts on a back foot for a moment, she kind of, like, acts like she's getting, like, staggering back from a blow. Well, the fact that she...
Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then, while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
I must be careful. Can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. It makes sense or something doesn't make sense. I did not. Feeling when you take all the gifted class in junior high and then high school calculus shows up. Yeah, there's some of the jumps maths will do. Maths. Well, you know what I mean. Maths is short for mathematics. I will admit, I don't think I paid quite enough attention to what she was actually saying in there. But I think it's okay since the sound went out. Math. There was a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor.
Oh, fatal? Oh, yow.
Oh, very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is.
Man, I think if Francisca, well, other prosecutors have their own gimmicks going on, though. I'm much ahead of me.
Show me something that contradicts my explanation.
There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. First time I was truly happy in school was my sophomore year when I stopped taking advanced courses. I was finally happy for my last 2 years before graduation. Oh. I mean, at least you got there. But it's kind of a shame that, like, it kind of took out that, like, made your freshman year rough. Piece of evidence. Gunpowder residue. I guess the folding screen? That's not point blank. Gunpowder residue. Because she's saying that Maya ran up on him. Wow, this is not that hard. I think I'm just a little bit more tired than I thought I was at the moment. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that? A folding screen?
I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Also, I made new friends that weren't hyper-competitive saboteurs since I was with the normies now. Oh, with the advanced course. That's interesting. Because for my high school, I basically spent it all in advanced courses because I did the International Baccalaureate, like magnet stuff. But I don't know. I guess because we were stuck together, we weren't that competitive. At least I never really noticed that. But it looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Ah, okay. That makes sense what Phoenix is arguing. Ooh, okay.
Water. This changes everything.
Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. My 8th grade calculator project where we had to program a drawing into it got deleted by 2 of those shooters. Oh, that sucks. I mean, there's nothing quite as awful as the petty evil that students get into, right? I shouldn't even call that petty evil, too. That's very significant for what they could do at that age. Like, I guess it depends on how much, but since you called it a project and it had involved programming, stuff like that, I'm going to assume it was a substantial part of the grade. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. And the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. And 2 of them talked me into doing a drawing for them and planned to fight over so they could rip it in half. Wow. Sometimes I feel like I was lucky I missed stuff like that. Like, I don't know if I was just dense enough I missed that stuff or if I just also didn't run into it. Anyways, I'd have to be like over here, I think, right? Uh-oh. She was standing here, near the folding screen. Oh, okay.
But wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim?
That's impossible.
But why?
You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. It was weird bullying. I would prefer just getting hit or something. Ooh. They probably did. Well, I was gonna say they probably didn't want to leave evidence, but they still tore stuff up, but I don't know. I guess plausible deniability there.
Curse you, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. You...
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation?
I mean, I don't know, it has to, because I need it to. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time?
Oh, squatting all the way by the folding screen?
Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike?
Upon further consideration, does make very little sense.
It's one of those things where when you try to explain it to a teacher or someone, it's hard to articulate. Yeah. Plus, like, and like, there's always like, just on a person-to-person thing, it can be hard sometimes to give your position. But also, especially when you're a kid, too. That's another limiting factor, right?
Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason.
Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the book. Anyway, enough info dumping. Bullet holes. Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you have been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Ugh. All the things inherit, why did it have to be that smirmy smile? Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic?
Or how is it all my fault?
You can start repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, then rest assured your punishment will come later.
Punishment?
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta.
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness.
Her downfall was using him as a witness. Oh, okay. Well, that was very short. Oh. Oh, nope. I want to go to here. I will admit, I'm feeling a bit tired. But this is still an early case. It's pretty straightforward. And it might be short. Like, I'm even surprised they actually divided this up. Like, it's not a bad thing. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another small break. I'll be back in a few minutes and see if maybe getting up and stretching can help wake me up. And I'll finish off this case, maybe. So I'll be right back. Oh, I'm back. It's kind of funny. You say Downfall was using him as a witness. And yeah, I feel like a lot of Franziska's issues in this, and it's the same as Edgeworth had in the first game too, is the idea that they want to like stack the things in their favor and prepare like perfect testimonies and everything really fall apart when your witnesses happen to be dumbasses, which is what 90% of the witnesses are in these games. Because, I mean, Gumshoe was already pretty bad. But she's going from him to a lot of hurt. June 21st, 11:37 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Oh, that was a close one.
I know you were giving it your all to defend me, but I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air.
I felt like I was pretty close to dying myself. Witnesses, would be fair to say characters there. Yeah. No, that's a good point, Dill. Also, hey. Lotta's a nightcrawler.
But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, made theories, and tricked everyone into believing you.
Wait, tricked?
That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right?
By the way, is the next witness who I think it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hurt.
Oh, guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me. If you lose, me and my sis's ghost will come after you and haunt you.
Your sister? Are you talking about Mystic Mia?
Yeah, do you remember her, Pearly? My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, God, if she knew Pearl when she was young, Pearl may have only been like 3 or 4 years old. And I think if you think of how small Pearl had to be then, she was probably... You know what? The joke I was going to go for is already too dumb. I'm going to just not even continue it. June 21st, 11:43 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2.
Court will now reconvene. Now, the first order of... Wow.
I don't want to hear it, old man. After I call my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy.
Oh man, Francisca. A lot of times you need to pay extra at places to get that treatment. Unless that's what the entire thing is. It is funny, because in, well, it's the Like a Dragon franchise now, but back when they're called Yakuza games. Well, no, I say that. No, Mr. Masochist. No, wait. Or is he... Oh, I can't remember. Was Mr. Masochist in Judgment, or was he in Like a Dragon, the 7th one? I like a glove texture animation. Ooh. You know, I don't think I ever would have noticed that, Donnie, if you didn't say something.
Yes, sir.
Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling.
I've been trying to animate like that. Oh. So you're also like attuned to that kind of stuff right now. That makes sense.
A witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Well, hey, Phoenix, how you doing?
Just fine.
Ah, sorry about this. Didn't exactly have a choice, you know? Yowza. Name and occupation.
Oh god, how many times is Lotta gonna get whipped?
Well, I declare, what in tarnation? Well, hey, Judge, this here is violence against my fair self.
That's fine.
No, Judge. It's not fine. The prosecutor's not supposed to whip witnesses on the stand. Oh boy, Phoenix Wright universe.
That's fine. Well, that ain't fine. Well, that's a whip. Yow. There's no need for foolish outcries from foolishly foolish fools.
Judge. Meh. Could always discredit the witness by just recounting the last time she fabricated and withheld evidence and also lied on the stand. Oh man. The judge does not have that level of object permanence or memory.
Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. Well, I haven't even gotten to say my name and job yet. Oh, name's Lila Hart, paranormal photographer, and I'm here to testify.
Oh, just count how many times Francisca uses her whip. It'll be funny because she does it so much. At this point, we might as well get Larry as a witness for this trial. No, you gotta spread these out a little bit. Although, is Larry in any of these? I don't remember if Larry might not be. I don't remember the third and fourth cases enough, the trials, if he is or not.
Now, let's all be one big happy family, okay?
I'm astonished that the judge didn't get whipped at the end of that. Witness's account.
Only the dark end of the defendant went into the challenge chamber. We were waiting outside the door, and then bang, we hear this gunshot. Well, Mr. Loyal there broke the door down, and we rushed into the room. Inside was the dead victim and the defendant waving a pistol around. Well, I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room.
Finally, for our rock and roll edition of Celebrity Jeopardy, Sean Connery.
But did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place?
Reckon course.
Excuse me?
Oh, reckon course. It's short for you reckon? Of course I did. Ah. Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court.
The moment of truth. What will be in that picture?
Oh, let's see here. This here's the picture.
It will certainly seem that only the defendant and the victim were in that room.
Picture taken at the murder scene. Lotta's photo added to the court record.
Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
I will clear all doubt about Maya through this cross-examination. Just watch me. So I don't know if it's gonna come up here, but I don't think I've ever seen Maya from behind before. It is not very common, is it? But yeah, there's something immediately wrong with this. I don't know if we're gonna actually get to it in this testimony or if it has to come up later. But the angle here is kind of messed up. She looks more off model the more she turns.
Only the doc and the defendant went into the challenge chamber.
Was it really only those two that went in?
What are you blabbering about? You were there too, were you not? Why don't you answer that yourself? Was it really just the two of them?
Yes, Dr. Gray and Maya were the only two that went into the room.
Hold on. We gotta have the defense testify against his own client.
Oh, anyway, folks, only two of them went into the challenge chamber, you hear? But you knew that from the very beginning, didn't you? Witness continue.
Objection. The real question is the new Von Karma's front-facing design as unsettling as the last one? No. I'm pretty sure it looks fine, but we also see it more. Because Francisca is in all 3 of these final trials? I don't think she does much in the last one, but it's been a while. I don't remember to what degree things go on there. There's shenanigans.
We were waiting outside the door and then bang, we hear this gunshot.
Was it really a gunshot?
Are you insane? You must have heard it as well. Why don't you testify for the court, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Was it really a gunshot?
Yes, I think it was something that sounded like a gunshot.
Why we here mustang for the defense testify?
And the world becomes just a little crueler.
Well, I heard a gunshot a long time ago, so I know. And I tell you, that was a gunshot I heard. Now, Elias, this is where the story heats up.
It's pretty funny that, like, Phoenix is trying some really obvious bullshit things here, and Francis can just be, "You were there, dog. What are you doing?"
Oh, Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down and we rushed into the room.
Front-facing Manfred Ebenezer Scrooge. He did have that look a little bit. So let me get this straight. This Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down.
Honestly, Mr. Phoenix Wright, why don't you tell us what happened then?
Yes, Miss Von Karma. I broke the door down. Sorry. Why does this feel like an inquisition?
Oh, no need for apologizing. That was great. You're a real man.
Oh, really? That's something I would have liked to say.
The judge is smiling rather openly. I'll take that as a good sign.
And what did you see once you broke in? Oh, inside was a dead victim and the defendant waving a pistol around.
Are you sure it was the defendant, Maya Fey?
Well, sure, I'm sure.
Well, it seems awful confident in her testimony. Press her to leave her be. Let's leave her be for now and do the final sentence. Even I can see that any normal person would know who that was. It's no good. Shouldn't push my luck on this.
Well, I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room.
Are you absolutely certain of that?
Oh, sure I am. But that old witch chased us out of the room, so...
Old witch? Does she mean Morgan Fey?
Oh, but there was no one else in there, and you know it.
Channeling chamber was very dark, almost pitch black. Is there really no one else in there? What about behind the folding screen, behind the door, under the flooring? What about behind the folding screen? Did you check back there?
Rat given?
Huh? What in the?
Rat given, you know. You reckon? Well, that's a given. I took me a good look around the room once. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out behind that phone screen.
If I may have a word with you, Miss Hart.
Well, what? You got a problem?
Rick Given. I mean, I'm having a little difficulty understanding you. If you would stop saying such things as Rick and Given and so forth. Ow!
Now then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, do you see a problem with the testimony or don't you?
Arg, just as I thought, there's something wrong with her testimony. I was with her, so I know she's telling the truth. Oh, maybe I couldn't do that one at all, okay.
Rudolph, it seems that there are no issues with Miss Hart's testimony.
At the time of the crime, only 2 people were in the channeling chamber. The victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and the defendant, Maya Fay.
The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture.
Guys, like when some influencer tries to act rural cottagecore, puts way too much twang on their accent. Yeah, a lot of that's a bit much.
However, when we think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant.
What am I going to do? I just let this go. Or specifically, not you. Cut me in. Look, I didn't play cross for as many sessions as I did and have issues with that idea.
What is it, Mr. Wright? Look as if you have something to say.
If I make one wrong move, I'm going to have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that would prove it's not Maya in that photo? The blood is all in the front, which we can't see. That's the picture itself. Knife, the gun. I don't think we can. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Mr. Wright?
Nothing, Your Honor. That's very smart of you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You really should give up trying to prove this is not my affair. I didn't say anything about giving up. I just don't have the right piece of evidence to prove my argument.
Mr. Dolph.
I'm not Deep South. I'm East Texan, so the Foghorn Leghorn Colonel Sanders voice didn't offend me. Well, that's fair enough. That's also just actually a comfortable one to do. That one helped though too, because I very quickly figured out with Cross, like, I could just do his introduction and that gave me the voice. I need to do that with characters more often.
Mr. Dolph.
Because I know they always suggest that's a good way to do voices, is you just figure out like a line or two to do that. Yeah. Oh, you are so good when you're doing a Kenku. Like, it can be distracting with that, but it is, yeah. Is this it? Is this all I could do?
I think it is quite obvious to this court that a verdict of not guilty is not possible.
I told you, totally 100% impossible.
Miss Von Karma, do you have any further questions for this witness?
Having established the defendant's guilt, no further questioning won't be needed.
About the defense. No further questions, I presume.
I couldn't protect Maya. The defense... The defense... Phoenix. Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face. A lawyer is someone who smiles. A plus for the judge voice, by the way. I can hear him no other way. Oh. Well, thank you for that. Although I feel like it got a little jollier in this one, but that's also because I don't. What does Grossberg show? I don't think Grossberg's in this game, no matter how bad it gets. Mia. So, possessing Maya is one thing. Remember how we were told that Pearl is a channeling prodigy at the age of 8? We do see Teenage Pearl in the second trilogy in the Apollo games. She just show up. So we know that there is no long-lasting damage to her from Mia puppeting her body, but have a seat right there. Yeah. I guess I made it just in time, wouldn't you say? Like, on Maya, it's just like the booba goes out and there's maybe a little bit of height difference, everything. Mia's like shoving like 2 feet of frame into Pearl or something. Like, not 2 feet, probably. Hell, maybe 2 feet, I don't know. How short are they? Or is the Slanishi demon? But Pearls. Her clothes are a bit small. Anyway, what are you waiting for, Phoenix? Let's go. The Boba Kiki effect. But how? She's already taken away every advantage. The advantage is still in your hand. Think carefully, one more time, about what you saw in the channeling chamber. Do you remember what you told me yesterday? This is how you get Slanesh. Dr. Gray. I was murdered. Just wait until we see Morgan Fay channel Mia. What? You know the stream is nearly over when the 40k posing happens. Lotta, a time like this? Oh, times like this are perfect for snapping up shots. I can 40k posts all day. You definitely can, Darth. You see, there is one final piece of this puzzle. Mia? Question Lotta one more time, Phoenix. I don't know if she's doing it unconsciously or on purpose, but she's not testifying truthfully.
Now then, this court would like to end the cross-examination period, as I think I might be going crazy. Cause I think that 8-year-old girl suddenly shot up 2 feet and her chest expanded to be the size of what her body was before she suddenly grew explosively.
Please wait, Your Honor. The defense would like to request that the witness testify one more time.
Overruled. I'm afraid you're too late, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination has already ended. Furthermore, the examiner says...
It's fine. I'll allow another testimony. I too worship a purple deity with 4 arms and crab claws. I'm a gene stealer cultist. Okay, let's add another whip thing here. Look at Franziska's whip count catching up to the objections. A von Karma's case is perfect. Absolutely flawless. And what better time than this for you to see that?
But, I mean, I have some place I must go after this.
Judge. What the hell, dude? Someone's life is on the line. Goes for a Death Watch kill team for D-Man. I've seen the new army rules. I'm fine.
Well, all right. I'll allow it.
Soaps are going to be starting soon. He would have soaps too.
Miss Hart, everyone give us another testimony.
Oh, well, heck. What am I supposed to talk about? Please tell us once more. What happened when you burst into the channeling chamber? Okay, you got it. Let me count this whip count before I forget, because I definitely will if I don't. Is he a Days of Our Lives kind of fella? These are the rules of the Death Watch TTRPG. Because when I was like a kid to maybe preteen, I would occasionally watch soaps. Like, not really watch them, but like my mom would have them on and I would get them that way. But I never really would pay attention and I don't remember them enough to really be sure.
See, you got through to the judge somehow, right?
Well, actually, it was Von Karma's whip that got through to him. Witness's account, part 2.
Well, when we broke into that room, all I could focus on was Maya. I was, kind of scared of the dead body, so I didn't take a good look at it. Well, I'm really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff, but I still managed to point my camera at Maya and take a shot.
I hate school, so I tried to fake sick as much as possible. So daytime TV and I were close friends. That makes sense. I wouldn't fake sick per se, but I definitely as a kid, I would like, if I got like a little sick, I would try to go home. Like I did not handle it well and I didn't really try to tough it out. Once I got into like later teenage and, well, actually just being a teen, but especially an older teenager, I wasn't nearly so sensitive to it. But definitely as a kid, I would do that quite often.
Well, things are different from before.
General Hospital, I remember being darker than Days of Our Lives, like chromatically darker. Subject matter eluded me. Yeah, I do think there was something like that. God, I couldn't tell you much about it, but I think the one that I was exposed to the most was The Bold and the Beautiful. Is that what it was, I think? Like that was my mom's favorite and thus it would be the one I'd be exposed to most often. I couldn't tell you anything about it, but I just remember Days of Our Lives having a storyline with little demons in the mid-90s. Oh my god, Darth, you're right. That's kind of amazing. Some parts of her testimony were very vague. I should press her on those sections. You unlock the core memory.
Struggle all you like as you taste the bitterness of your defeat. Well, amuse me with your useless questions, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm waiting.
Witness's account, part 2.
When we broke into that room, all I could focus on was Maya.
So, what did she look like?
You know, she looked almost like a different person.
A different person?
She may have seemed like a different person. However, she was still Maya Fey. We have already made that point abundantly clear.
Yes, that is true. Well then, Miss Hart, did you happen to see anything else?
Oh, I was kind of scared of the dead body, so I didn't take a good look at it.
Then perhaps that body was not Dr. Gray's at all.
Eh, well, I reckon that's possible. If the body inside that room was not that of Dr. Gray, then whose body was it, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Well, what if it was that of Maya Fey after the channeling? Or maybe... Some of the dumb presses you actually get like Phoenix really trying to trick people.
Ow! Foolish fool spouting foolish foolishness, just as I expect of a foolish fool such as you. If that were the case, then that would mean that Maya Fey is in fact dead. And that would make the defendant's chair quite a lonely place, wouldn't it?
Ugh, sorry Maya.
Are y'all done here?
Sorry, whoa, what the heck?
Are y'all done here? Can I continue?
Alright, that was 2 whips. 22, then 23. Around that time, Discovery Channel would air old 70s shows like In Search of with Leonard Nimoy, and me being an impressionable youth just took it all as gospel. I mean, Spock would never lie, D-Man.
Well, I'm really bad when it comes to blood and ghosts and stuff.
And even knowing that, you still persist in being a paranormal photographer?
Oh, that's why I'm getting out of this here business. This gal's gonna get the dirt on the stars and be a tabloid photographer from now on.
She goes through jobs faster than a baby through diapers. Wow.
Mr. Phoenix Wright, would it kill you to stay on topic for a change?
Well, put it, Mr. Wright.
Nice. Tag teamed in stereo. Guess I should be grateful it's not in 5.1. Between the Demon Story arc and that, daytime TV was actually frightening to me in ways I've never felt again. Oh. Did anything really I watched as a kid on TV really? Like, I mean, there would be the occasional movie that would definitely not be, like, appropriate for a kid I would watch that would probably scare me. And I think, actually, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Just, like, the opening sequence would get me. I don't even know if anything in the show would. But just something about, like, the spooky setup to that.
Oh, but I still managed to point my camera at Maya and take a shot.
2, right?
To what?
2 shots. You took 2 shots. There's a weird voodoo documentary I saw. I think it was by National Geographic, but I've never been able to find it again. Oh. I could see that being scary though, especially when you're a kid though. Because voodoo has some things,
Was it... Did Katie ever touch the Gabriel Knight games, or was it
only Sam who ever touched those? Anyways, that goes into the one of those games goes into the voodoo stuff, and that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that's all 100% accurate to it. Some of the more sensational stuff to it, but I grew up Pentecostal, so voodoo is basically the same thing. It's the Neo chick signal. Oh, she's... Even if she wasn't sleepy already, she definitely should have been asleep by now.
But what has been submitted as evidence?
Miss Hart, where is the other picture you have been withholding?
No. You've got it all wrong. It's not me.
It remains lit.
I didn't mean anything bad. I know I can be a little mean, but I ain't evil.
Well, at least she knows herself.
And why have you not shown this other picture to the court yet?
Well, ain't it obvious? That prosecutor woman told me to shut my trap about it.
What? Von Karma. Instead of lower spirits possessing you and you lurching around speaking in tongues, it's instead the Holy Spirit. That's the idea, at least. Yeah, if you break it down like that.
Miss Von Karma, you're fighting critical evidence.
Unforgivable, Von Karma. Pressing evidence like this. You're as bad as your father. Confront Francisco, leave it to the judge. Oh, man. So do we want to have Phoenix get whipped or the judge? We'll deal with it ourselves. Your Honor, the defense asks that Prosecutor Von Karma be held in contempt of court.
Well, yes.
Me? In contempt of court?
You can't be serious. But you hid evidence from the court. On purpose. That's... As if Phoenix hasn't done worse in some ways. That's not fair. Phoenix, are you a lawyer or a school child? I was so angry I lost my composure.
Miss Von Karma, would you care to explain yourself to this court?
I thought this picture was not important, and thus felt no need to submit it. That's all. How could you think? The pictures were more or less the same, so why bother with the second? I mean, it's just so much more trouble that it's worth for me to submit this as evidence. More trouble than it's worth? How can you say that? If you want to see it that badly, I'll submit it. Lada's photo 2 added to the court record. A picture taken at the murder scene. Look at this. Those are not Maya's baps. Maya does not have that level of bappage. This is like some weird mix where it's not basic Maya level, but it's not all the way to Mia. It's in between.
What is this picture?
It's obviously the second picture the witness took that day at the scene of the crime. Well, it's a little off-center, but that's what you get with a nervous amateur.
Well, I think the important point here is the person in this picture.
Look at these photographs. These are clearly not Maya's baps.
This is most definitely not my affair.
Starts playing Nickelback. It's hard, because look at this photograph comes up enough. Like, it's hard not to just do it. Especially since I think we all have to recover. I think we all lived through that era of internet video creation.
What is the meaning of this?
This might be the break I was looking for. Now, should I or should I not insist that the person in this picture is not Maya? So, I don't think this one matters, it's just a flavor thing. Because the thing is, we already know, like Francisca already brought it up earlier, the fact that she knows that the spirit channeling technique they do is one that changes what the body looks like. It was one of those songs that was super popular when I graduated. That's true too, right? Like, I think age-wise, we're all around, like, either when Nickelback was super popular or, like, the immediate backlash phase to when Nickelback was super popular. I'm kind of curious, though. Let's insist it's not Maya and see what she gives to us. 34. By the way, I had my first true old moment last week. I forgot how old I was. Graduated in 2008. I'll be honest, I actually have been that way for like a few years now. Where like if I've not had to use my age for anything recently, and someone will ask me, I'll not get the year right all the time. Cause like I'm not gonna go into politics. So what does my age give me? My age will make insurance worse. And that's about it. It's not even going to be a countdown to retirement anymore because I'm not in a job for like that. And who even knows if, because of the times we live in, if any of that stuff's going to even matter, that there's going to be an age of retirement. I remember my birthday, but I had to do math to figure out my current age. Well, yeah, because it's really hard to forget your birthday because you need that for so many things. That's like when you're a kid, you care about the number there, but once you get to a certain age, like, who cares? I mean, I guess it's extra worse for me because I have like no interest in dating or anything. And admittedly, that comes up for people fairly often because you want to be in a certain range, and that range matters for people. But I don't even have that to give me any of that, so. At best, you're no longer eligible for selective service. That's true. I guess that's one positive thing that come out of it. Chris, I'm not gonna get into politics. Sentence could have gone a lot of ways. That's fair. I meant more just in the sense that, like, that's one of the only things I can think of off the top of my head that actually has, like, a more advanced age minimum. Your Honor, as you can plainly see, the person in the picture is not Maya Fey.
Yes, I see that.
You showed up with but. No.
It's not just her face. Her whole body has taken on a different appearance. I mean, look at these maps.
There's only one conclusion that can be drawn then. That somehow, this other person snuck in and traded places with the defendant. Now here's the funny thing. Right now, Phoenix is bullshitting. But, like, we know Maya's been set up. So fundamentally, this sentence is actually probably true. Just right now, he thinks it's a lie.
Order, order, order. Well, yes, I believe you are correct, Mr. Wright. The person who was inside the challenge chamber was not Maya Fey.
Mia, we did it. You're too soft. Huh? You're softer than Aunt Morgan's strawberry desserts, Phoenix. Oh, hell yeah, another best viewers. I'm gonna destroy you. Although it's funny, this bot that showed up is called Anarchic Bot, which I wonder if the 40K talk earlier on would have somehow made them manifest. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind getting rid of these. Again, something about you're softer than Aunt Morgan's strawberry desserts, Phoenix. Take a look at Prosecutor Von Kerma's face. It was chaos, maybe. How can you get better viewers when you already have the best? She's smiling? I think you had better continue to worry, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Miss Von Kerma, what do you mean by that?
Your Honor, I would like for you to take a look at this picture. Oh my god. Why does it seem even worse when she's at like an angle? Okay. Again, we are good children in this, but also mess with the best, get banned like the rest. No, I guess maybe it was just like the sun picture of it with that, like just, I don't know. It's translated from pixel art, so it's all wonky.
This was taken yesterday at the detention center's visitors room. This is Mr. Phoenix Wright and the defendant, Maya Fey, during his visit.
Maya Fey? What? Isn't this a totally different person? With even bigger babs?
She looks this way because she is obviously in the middle of channeling a spirit.
Gotta give it to Francisca though. She like did her research.
It's unbelievable that she can.
Yet it is the truth. When Maya Fey is in that state, she physically changes into the person she's calling.
So no cheating our way out of this.
Miss Von Kerma, a word if I may.
Mia?
Taking pictures of someone during a private visit is illegal. Surely, you must know that that picture can't be submitted as evidence.
Obviously, I know this picture is illegal, but I never intended to submit it as evidence in the first place.
What is she?
From the moment I showed this picture to the court, this case became all mine. After all, this image has now been forever burned into the judge's mind.
Why'd you bring it up? Because all she needs is for the judge to know it's the case. I don't have even a single witty line. It looks like we've been had.
I don't claim to understand this, and I still cannot believe it. Are you saying that this person is the defendant, Maya Fey?
The judge can't remember anything day to day. Damn. Dareth, you do have a good point, though. If Phoenix can bullshit for like 15 minutes, we might be able to turn this around again. If I give up here, the trial will end. But if I slip up and say something wrong, it will cost me. What even is legal in this cock-a-baby world? Ah, yes, okay. There's one thing we have going on here. Just dangle some keys in his face. Is there any way I can prove that the person in this picture is not Maya? Can't prove it. I can prove it. Man, I almost missed this, actually. Your Honor.
No, the fire has returned to your eyes, I see.
Look at Maya's boobs. This picture. Within this picture lies a critical contradiction to all the testimony up until now. So it was a ghost that's the real murderer.
A contradiction?
So, you think you've spotted a problem with this picture? Then earn your keep. Why don't you point out exactly what is so strange about this picture?
You said, is there any evidence? That counts. It's this sleeve, right? I think it was the one on the right that had the bullet hole. Oh? Or was it the other one? Please direct your attention here.
The sleeve? But there isn't anything odd about it.
Also, I feel like the second game is being way meaner with leaving the health on screen longer. And that is exactly what is so odd. Something that should be there is suddenly missing. Should be there. There was a bullet hole in the sleeve of the defendant's costume. If that's the case, then it should be in this picture as well.
Well, Miss Von Kramer, you intended to hide this valuable piece of evidence? You will most certainly be assigned a penalty for this.
All right, this should do some major damage to our argument. Don't celebrate yet. You like to bring down the mood, don't you? Take a look at Miss Von Karma's face. She's got that condescending grin plastered all over her face again.
Jumping the gun again, I see. Your Honor, I would like to extend an apology on behalf of those incompetent fools.
What do you mean? And what incompetent fools?
If those fools down at the precinct hadn't missed the bullet hole, I would have gotten a report about it. As I didn't, I could not have known that this picture was of any value to this case.
I see.
She's lying through her teeth. I know it. That woman knew about everything. The bullet hole, the picture, everything. But you can't prove that. Franziska von Karma's idea of a perfect case is quite fascinating, don't you think?
Your Honor, you need not worry. If you must assign a penalty, I'll personally make sure that detective gets what's coming. I'm sure there will be a great gnashing of teeth at his next salary discussion.
And just like, it was my plan all along, people. Xanatos. Yeah. Like, admittedly, I think here she's doing it also just to dodge getting in trouble. Poor Gumshoe.
In any case, this is a very big problem. When the defendant was taken into custody, her costume had a bullet hole in its sleeve. However, from this photo, it would appear that right after the shooting, there was none.
The judge is confused by this strange twist of events. This is your chance, Phoenix. Load all you've got into this one shot, alright? Got it. Watch this, Maya. Your Honor, there's only one logical explanation for the contradiction. This picture is a fake. The judge is confused, full stop, yeah. The bullet hole was made later. The shooter is someone else. The defendant's sleeve had a bullet hole in it. However, this person's clearly does not. There can be only one explanation. The person who shot Dr. Gray was not the defendant. The different person altogether.
What?
Order. If order is not restored, I will suspend this trial. Now.
Why me?
Okay. This is the other problem with counting the whip strikes. 28, 29. Sometimes Francisco will just whip and whip and whip and whip.
The defense's argument is a complete mess.
Complete mess? I fail to see how. Please, enlighten us.
Hey, witness. What the heck? Is there any way to ask a gal a favor? Oh, be quiet, you. You were the one who said it was only the two of them when you entered the room. Well, you know, if you were lying, I swear that my wit will be the last thing you'll see. Look, sis, you're looking mighty scary, so why don't we say you... Wow, I swear, I wasn't lying or nothing. There wasn't anyone else in there, honest.
Okay, I think we're near the end of this, which is good. I'm having a hard time with the voices now. I maybe shouldn't have gone on this long.
You see? Now riddle me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Where did the defendant vanish to?
We make it a real Legolas Gimli kill score during this broadcast. Man, I tell you, it's like the whips have already, like, definitely more whips than we got objections.
And where did this other woman appear from?
Why is it lately all I want to do is cry?
Well, if the person in the picture is not the defendant, then this poses two very big questions. First, where did the defendant vanish to? And second, where did this person come from?
That's right. Now hurry up and answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Come on. You can't fall apart here, Phoenix Wright. Can't believe that even Mia's calling me by my full name. But, I mean, how am I supposed to prove something like this?
Had enough yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Or do you think you have enough in you to turn things around even now?
To turn things around. That's right. Mia would always turn things around and change her perspective. Phoenix? So, where did this intruder appear from? Where did Maya disappear to? I need to look at this situation from a different angle. Let's see. What if before we broke in, the third person was already in the room? And what if Maya had left that room somehow? I could prove that either one of those conditions were true. Maya vanished into the warp. Ooh, okay.
Mr. Wright, let's hear what you've come up with.
I think what happened before we forced our way into the channeling chamber is... Oh, snap. I've gotten a third one tonight. One for each hour. Not that you're seeing these at all, I don't think, but... This one was trying to tell me about cheap viewers. I think what happened before we forced our way into the channeling chamber is... Third person entered it. I left the room. Something I can't explain yet. Maya had left the room? Because he mentioned it was both of these, right? The third person entered and Maya left. I think Maya would have to have left first. Either that or maybe it all does... I mean, I think the third one would have done nothing, but the first two might have done the same thing. Maya had left the channeling chamber at some point. The defense can prove this.
Or how a foolish fool makes a foolish face while dreaming foolishly foolish dreams. Maya Fay was being looked after by her aunt Morgan Fay. The chances of her leaving the crime scene is lower than that detective's salary.
Anyway, let's see some evidence.
No, interstitial particle translation like the Necron.
Prove that from the murder until the time of arrest, the defendant had left the room.
So I think this is finally time for this key, because even Mia was like, use the key, Phoenix. Miss Hart, do you remember this key?
Well, I've seen it. Hey, that's a challenge chamber key, right? Before the challenge started, I locked the door from the inside with that. The defendant herself locked the door? Yeah, that's why we all couldn't get the door open. That key is the only one of its kind after all.
Oh, one of a kind, you say?
Wait, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Yes, it looks like she's catching on.
I'm afraid to ask, but why is that key currently in your possession?
Huh? What do you mean?
If Maya Fey locked herself in, then the key should have been with her.
Yes, agreed.
However, she did not have the key at the time of her arrest.
Nah, well, ain't that a kick? So how come you're holding it?
I got this as a present from a certain little girl, who is currently an older lady with massive boobs next to me. Let's not think about that too much. And that little girl was nowhere near the crime scene at the time.
That's preposterous.
This means that Maya Fey must have left the room. If she had not, then I would not be holding this key you see before you.
No.
Again, Francisca, dear, you chose a challenge man with insanely dumb luck.
It seems we have come to an impasse. This picture has clearly captured the face of the murderer. However, is this person the defendant or not? The defense is arguing that this person is not the defendant. Furthermore, as proof, this key has been submitted as evidence.
You brought this suffering on yourself.
Miss Von Karma.
Yeah, she's not happy.
How can this be?
At this point in time, a verdict on the defendant's guilt is not possible.
My perfect case. How is there a flaw in my perfect case? Don't think you've won yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I am a prodigy. I have never lost a case. And I don't intend to lose here in this courtroom to a fool like you. I don't care what I have to do. I will get my guilty verdict.
That's enough. If you would like to continue, do so in the lobby.
The real luck is that his clients are always innocent. Okay, well, it doesn't look like the whip counter would surpass the objections this time. But considering, they definitely will next time.
Court will reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Francisca, honey, you ruined your bastard father's 40-year perfect record. Yeah. Look, she has the arrogance of youth, right?
That is all. Court is adjourned.
You have no chance in hell. June 21st, 1:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Wow, that was you, Pearly? You summoned my sis?
Yes, I felt I had no choice. Phoenix here was really sucking.
Great going, Pearly. I knew you were special. Hey, Nick, did you know?
Yeah. It's not like anyone else in there could have done that.
Nick, I know you're trying really hard and all, but I really don't remember ever leaving that room.
I don't think that a third person could have gone into that room.
Yeah. Well, at least we have until tomorrow to figure things out. Like, what happened in that room, for instance?
Yeah, I'm counting on you.
Ah, I envy the two of you.
Oh, by the way, Nick, do you think you could take Pearly back home for me?
Sure. Alright, Pearls. You ready to go buy some tickets?
Huh? A ticket?
Oh, poor thing. So sheltered. Phoenix, Maya, for the love of God, don't say anything like that. Yeah. Alright. So, I went on a little long, but I think that's okay. Next time we'll be in the investigation of the second day. I'm pretty sure this is only a 2-day trial. I don't think it goes longer than that. But, oh boy, I'm tired. That was long. But we did it. We've met Pearls. Well, we didn't meet Pearls. She talked this time. Pearl has spoken. And we've met Francisca. And we have all this. I will hide. I think I'll do this for next time. I guess I could do something with like Magatama, but I don't think I'll do that. But we'll hide both of those. It's not relevant during the investigation phase. And yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I did save, right? Yes, I did. With that, I'm going to head off. I already said it, but thanks again for hanging out. Good night, everyone.